Democracy or history? The choice is ours. What about this complex and turbulent world study of tomorrow and today? Does it really matter to anyone, anywhere? Should we even have a say? As you watch your child and grandchild so happily at play, are you satisfied with your role that helped to make their day? You'll enter them in the beauty queen contest and all the talent shows. You'll drive them everywhere. You'll pay the fees to enhance their fragile egos. But who is this glorification really for? Is it just for their long-term good? Or is it for someone else attempting to relive their own childhood? You'll enroll them in every sport and take them to all the games. You'll yell, shout, admonish, heap the praise and soothe their ego's pain, as you let them think the loss was the fault of the ref and not their careless play. Certainly they can do no wrong. Their play was great. It just wasn't their day. But will you take them to the library, make trips with them to the museum? Will you arrange in your schedule some time just for you and them? Will you make sure that what they watch on the internet and television set match the family rules and values, ensuring that parental objectives are met? Then the schools join in with their proof of priorities and politics correct, with athletic coaches with only minimum educational qualifications intact, who will be paid twice or more than is paid the real teachers on staff, who in addition will have to tolerate incapable administrative riffraff. Then we take a closer look, especially at the smaller towns' public schools, where we really see why these communities deteriorate into ignorance pools. It may start with a school board with members who never finished high school. They rarely have any knowledge of education and little time to be education's tool. The result becomes a game of politics with the goal to have the best athletic teams, the superintendent being a czar over all that moves and manager of schemes. Only the students with dedicated, informed, well-disciplined parents succeed in equipping their children with real education and character built on disciplined deeds. And the newspapers in small cities serve our youth no better than the others. They readily print the local melodrama, sensational and the provocative that covers, the murders, drug busts, human beatings, addict arrests, and the lawbreakers, but they rarely publicize the humanitarian citizens, the good policemen and teachers. They cover the rapes and ravages of the desensitized, dope-numbed youth, as they refuse to feature the writings and art of the civilized child of Couth. They are owned by their few powerful that run the areas with their connect, and are always aware of the powers that be that enforce the politically correct. During the next election, they will once again don their humanitarian cloak. They'll tout their political owners' objectives and in advertised budgets gloat. And once again, they are major reasons why the incumbents get reelected, as the population at large again revert to third world standards of the subjected. The youth become teenagers, even more attention they will now require. Someone else has a better car, better clothes. Their situation is dire. But mom and dad will make it all better for them. You know that's the way it goes. You'll make the car payments, blame the teachers, buy their gas, and get their clothes. The greatest country in history, a democracy once upon a time, not long ago, is now in a life or death struggle to survive in combative assault, blow by blow. The powerful majority usurers now call in their material security collateral, leaving the trusting, naive political minority to wail as at their feet they grovel. History proves that near the end, the majority will vote for the candidates who will offer them the most from the government treasury and forsake the honest few, who even with their last democracy-spawned integrity, they will still try to fight, but they waited too long. The majority owns their world that destruction now ignites. A lesser scholar than I would take his research and time, effort-earned historical find and claim it to be his. Yeah, it's mine. But 'tis not the case as solely my line. But what I write was stated by one whose blood, genes, and spirit still flow with mine. Alexander Tyler, a Scottish history professor, revealed democracy's natural decline. Pause to think of this 1787 wit, shortly after the birth of America's new Constitution. He didn't stop there. He elaborated on other facets of democracy's final condition. He stated that every democracy will finally collapse due to loose fiscal policy, which is always followed by dictatorship. History then repeats itself, you see. Professor Tyler's comments were stated at a time of the birth of our democracy, but it spawned his comments on the subject of the social forms of government history. His 1787 treatise was about the fall of the Athenian Republic some 2,000 years earlier, as he laid out the normal progression sequence of history's 200-year-old democracies. 1. From bondage to spiritual faith. 2. From spiritual faith to great courage. 3. From courage to liberty. 4. From liberty to abundance. 5. From abundance to complacency. 6. From complacency to apathy. 7. From apathy to dependence. 8. From dependence back into bondage. And the drama cycle can repeat itself, of course, on a new stage with a new cast, bound and determined to change the course of history and not repeat the past. But over 50 years ago, we ceased studying civics, geography, and the classics. Prior to then, we had even abandoned Latin and studies of the American intellects. So where is America on this historical scale and trail in 2009? I see current American evolution at number 5 and number 6 on the above democracy scale of time. This is a very sobering, interesting, frightening, and thoughtful-provoking line. How long do we have? Can we alter the course of history to become safe? Only sincere, massive individual effort can change our course status and case. Make no mistake about it, we are doomed to repeat history if we ever forget it. So citizens of our still great but fading democracy, will you take a stand or a hit? You can start now by holding those for whom you voted accountable to your trust. Don't believe their words. Evaluate only their measurable actions and final results. Then take a stand and take some action as you review the last election's technology. Be it known that this same communications media can also recall as well as elect. Yes, with our emails, telephones, and the internet, we have a voice to make them see that we are now a power, a force to be reckoned with. They can no longer neglect.